Welcome in. We've got a fantastic stream for you today. Thank you so much for hanging out with us, whether you're watching this later or live. Do us a favor, go ahead and smash that like button. Very simple way for you to help this channel grow. And I am feeling very happy today. I mean, guys, you helped us reach 17K. 17K. When we started producing content on this channel for this year, because it goes dark in the off season when Dynasty is thriving, we were at about 13, I think 13 flat. And we only started posting content, maybe April, May, June?
Yeah,
range?
around that area, yeah.
So you've already helped us reach 17,000 subscribers. Big shout out to you guys. I think we've just set a goal of let's get to 20K before the season. 20K before week 1. If we can somehow pull that off, that would be absolutely incredible. And the only reason that's even a possibility is because of you guys and y'all's continued support. So we appreciate you big time. Thank you for the love. Thank you for the support. We're happy to be here with you. Let us know who we're hanging out with. Sam says hello. Hope Jameer's okay.
How we doing?
What's up, Shy? Joel says pull one out for Gibbs best ball managers right now. So I'm in a league with Joel, and this was a $10 quickie that we called it when you were away on holiday, Badaki. And he traded.
I'm in that league.
Oh, okay. Sure. You're in that one. My bad. Maybe it's
the Badaki birthday league. I'm not in. I don't know if that's happening.
So Joel traded away Jahmyr Gibbs, and then he put in the chat, he was like, rest in peace to Jahmyr Gibbs managers. And everyone in the chat was like, what the hell? There's a bunch of Lion fans, and they're like, what the hell is he talking about? And everyone started freaking out, and they were like, oh my gosh, is Jahmyr Gibbs down for the year? So it's mental warfare. That's mental warfare from Joel in a league. Go in your leagues right now and just type in the chat, rest in peace Jahmyr Gibbs owners. You know, and just let the mental warfare begin. It starts up here, all right? It starts up here.
Oh, gosh.
What's up, Lindell? What's up, Rockstar? She says, been waiting to get in a mock draft. What's up, Travesty? Welcome in, welcome in. All right, guys, so obviously we do got some mock drafts for you today. So let's not waste any more time. Let's get straight to that. If people want to join a mock draft, how can they do so?
Yeah, guys, join the Discord. That link is in the description, and it's also going to be in the chat here. Join that Discord channel. Go to the Fantasyland tab with the Orange Footballs. Go to announcements, and that's exactly where I'll be posting the mock draft link. I'm going to choose a spot. It is first come, first serve, and I'm going to send that link out. Once again, the Fantasyland tab, the Orange Footballs, under announcements. That's where that link is going to go. 3, 2, 1. There you go.
It is first come, first served. Last time out, we did a start 9, and then we also, to help out our people who are in start 7 leagues, we did start 7. So maybe we'll do something similar if we reach our like goal. Like goal today is 80 likes. You guys have just been awesome. The stream's been growing, and we have set a new like goal higher and higher each day. So we appreciate y'all. So like goal today is 80. Do us a favor, smash that like button. If we get to 80 likes, we'll pop off a second mock draft. But this is a 1 quarterback PPR. All right. And it's start 9. All right. Start 9, meaning 1 quarterback, 2 running backs, 2 wide receivers, a tight end, and 3 flex spots. Let's start this bad boy off in 3, 2, 1. We are on the clock. Matthew says his wife is drafting for him. I love that. So Matthew, where are you on the board? Remind me your sleeper name, because when we get people who support us on Flock Fantasy, they have a different username on Flock Fantasy, a different username on Discord, a different username on YouTube.
Everywhere, honestly.
It's so difficult to keep up with. We are going to go ahead and grab Ja'Marr Chase here. Hey, you know, you've been a little, like, not significantly, you've been a little bit lower on Justin Jefferson than I have in the offseason. I'm just curious, did JJ McCarthy's performance change that at all in your mind in week 1? I'm not saying it should have or shouldn't have, you know, just was that good to see? Was it concerning? Do you have any more confidence in Jefferson now?
No, it's definitely good to see. I think I just was hurt with Kenny Pickett last year that I don't want to lean on any of preseason speculations. Yeah, the play could have been good, but it is, you know, you just have to take it with a grain of salt, right? Because you don't know if that was a full ones, what type of defense was doing, were they trying out something new on the defensive side of the ball? It's just so many things. Like in reality, that guy was 1-on-1. Is JJ being double covered? I got to make a pick here, and I'm going to take AJ Brown, who
Well,
I
JJ
currently
didn't
have
play,
over.
but I think
No,
I'm
I
just
get,
more
I get what I'm
saying from
saying.
this. Yeah, go
I
ahead.
guess like if you think about Justin Jefferson in the game, he's most likely
Okay.
being double covered, et cetera, et cetera. But I
Okay.
currently do have AJ Brown over Justin Jefferson. But it is good to see. It is good to see.
Sure. Yes, that
No
is
doubt about it.
the one area I'd say in our first round where we're different is I do have Jefferson ahead of AJ Brown, but I get the sentiment like Jalen Hurts and AJ Brown have already done it. They've already had that chemistry together, you know. That has got to be the earliest I've ever
Earliest
seen
we see
Marvin
Marv.
Harrison off the
No
board
question.
in any mock draft this offseason. Not going to sit here and say it's the wrong move. I'm not sitting here saying it's a bad pick, but I am saying that's the earliest I've ever seen him. If his ADP keeps rising, we're going to have to be out.
And there's no like, I feel like in Marvin Harrison's camp, there hasn't been like too much of a like, can't wait to see Marvin Harrison and Kyler Murray. It's just like, there hasn't, I think we said this before, nothing really has come out.
To be
out of
honest,
that
I
camp.
like that though. I like that. To me, it's a sleeping giant. That's the way I view it personally. It's
Sure.
like this Kyler Murray Marvin Harrison Jr. connection is a sleeping giant in my opinion. So I kind of prefer it. You know, I hate. You know, I love Neighbors. You know, I love them all this offseason. I hate that like the hype is so high for him and like we're nonstop talking about him and it's moving him up draft boards. You know what I mean? So, but I guess
Yeah, no,
Marvin
I
is still
get
being
you.
taken very, very high. So in the first round, we have 4 running backs, 8 wide receivers. That feels like it's always the case. In round 2, we see London, Puka, Saquon at the 2-3 is a huge steal. In fact, if you flip those 2 picks, it doesn't look as scary. You know what I mean? Like if you flip Marvin and Saquon, it's like, okay, I can handle that. You're on the clock here. AJ Brown and Etienne.
Travis Etienne. Yeah. I know I have Derrick Henry over Travis.
Okay.
But I haven't drafted Travis in a mock draft at all. So let's see how this goes and how this feels.
A lot of people are anti-Travis this offseason. I'm hearing it a lot. I'm hearing it significantly. So let me ask you then, Kyron, because I would have Kyron, I believe, ahead of both Henry and Etienne. I'll double-check my rankings. Are you avoiding Kyron just, you know, with the concerns of his size, usage?
It's just more usage. Yeah. It's more usage with Blake Corum.
Okay.
You know, we brought out multiple videos regarding Kyler and what Blake Corum is going to be doing. Maybe he gets more opportunities in the second half. I mean, I think what we saw last year from Kyrie Williams alone, I think it's going to be really hard to repeat personally. Not saying it's not going to happen, but I mean, the guy was averaging 21 fantasy points. That was the second highest amongst running backs behind Christian McCaffrey.
Yeah.
Especially with Blake Corum there, I think it takes a step back personally.
Dude, I'll be honest. I've never been on the draft board and been less sure of what pick to make. Like, I don't even know who I wanted there. Like, genuinely, that might have been. I'm not exaggerating here. That might have been the most uncertain I've ever been at a draft pick this entire offseason in a mock draft. Like, genuinely, I had no idea what to do there. I didn't want to take Olave. I felt like Adams was too early. I felt the same for Ayuk. I felt similar with those Texans receivers. I felt a little bit similar with Achane. I didn't want to grab a quarterback that early or a tight end. I hated that. I never want to be in that position again. Please.
How do you
never
feel,
put me in that position again.
How do you feel about Chris Olave? Obviously, I don't know if you saw what they were doing on offense. I mean, the whole first team was out there. They looked terrible. Still.
Yeah,
I mean,
you know, I guess same thing with you saying you don't want to overreact to good news because of Kenny Pickett last year. I don't want to overreact to bad news. There's plenty of teams that, you know, preseason is not where they're really hitting their stride. But yeah, I feel good. I mean, Chris Olave, I think they're going to give him more layups this year. Like last year, he had a design target rate of about 6%, which was awful. Like Tyreek is up there about 14. Debo is up there at like 19. New offensive coordinator. I'm not going to sit here and say like I think that Clint Kubiak's going to save this franchise, but I think that they're going to give more layups to Chris Olave, and that's what's really enticing to me personally. So
okay, that's fair.
Gibbs is going to be fine, guys. Gibbs is going to be fine. That was just a joke. He's going to be ready week 1. I promise you. Don't.
Everyone went to Twitter and typed in Jahmyr Gibbs to figure out what happened. Literally nothing.
Yeah, honestly, like in that position, Fred. I like now thinking about it. I think I probably should have taken Devon Achane if I'm so uncertain of all these players, maybe I do just shoot for the moon with Achane there, because I mean, I still am looking at the board. I'm not super happy with the decisions I made. But we are going to go ahead and anchor our running back room with Josh Jacobs here in round 3. So we don't anchor it in round 2. We anchor it in round 3. I am a little bit higher on Jacobs after preseason, week 1. I'm not going to overreact too much, but I just thought it was really good that there was 3 snaps with the starters. He was on the field every snap, including a third down. If they're going to use him on third down situations, that's interesting to me. I mean, he got a touch 2 out of those 3 plays. So it seems like while he might not, get 80% of the snap share or, stuff like that, it feels like he's still going to get 17 plus touches a game in that offense. And that's a very good offense to be a part of.
All right. I was hoping for Jalen Waddle. Jalen Waddle at the 3.8.
Damn it. I didn't even know he was there. His ADP
you know why?
is so
because
crazy.
His ADP, exactly. That's what I'm saying. Everyone keeps forgetting about Jalen Waddle.
Oh, I should have taken Jalen Waddle. That's crazy.
So, yeah, I'll take Jalen Waddle there at the 3.8.
You know what, dude? I have Waddle ranked ahead of Olave in my rankings. It's the damn ADP that's screwing me up.
Here you go. The damn robot aliens.
It's so hard in like 30 seconds to think about the stream, think about the mock draft, look at ADP, make a pick.
Yeah, it's a lot.
All right, but Debo goes off the board. I should have taken Debo over Jacobs. I should have taken Waddle over Jacobs. I messed up. This is not my strongest mock draft, guys. But this is why we practice.
That's why we want.
And I know now if I'm ever at the 104, how not to panic. But anyway, we appreciate y'all being with us. Thank you so much for hanging out. We got a like goal today of 80. If we reach 80 likes, we will pop off a second mock draft. We'll keep this party going. So do us a favor, smash that like button. We're already halfway to our goal. We appreciate you guys big time. The other thing is we are going to be, Badaki, when's the first video coming out on this new channel that we've got?
Tomorrow morning for you guys.
Tomorrow morning, we're going to spam this channel in the chat. Go subscribe to this channel. It's a new channel where we're going to be creating short form content. And we're not just like repurposing content we've already made. We wanted to be very intentional about making purposeful short form content. If you like TikTok or Reels or whatever, then go subscribe over to this channel. There'll be a lot of great fantasy information and, NFL news information as well. So go subscribe over there to show some love. But all right, in the third round, tons of wide receivers come off the board. Makes me feel like an absolute idiot for taking Josh Jacobs in the third, because I was the only one who took a running back. I was the only one who took a running back in all of round 3. So we're not loving our start.
That's okay. No, look, once again, this is why we mock. You got to practice from this. You had the 4 spot anywhere this year?
No, thank God. I hate it so far.
Okay, yeah, I mean, it's not the easiest.
Yeah. We did just get a super chat, by the way, from Cam Got Kicks. So let's answer this right after you make your pick. You take Kamara. Damn it. I hate that you're in on Kamara. You're like, this is the first year in so long that you... I'm not saying that you weren't. I'm saying this is the first year in a very long time that you and I are in on like almost every single one of the same players.
The same players, yeah.
It's
tough.
Typically every year we're so opposite, but this year we're like so similar on so many players.
There's just values everywhere, to be honest. You're on the clock here.
I am on the clock here. I'm going to take a tight end. We're gonna grab Mark Andrews here, and let's look at the super chat from Cam Got Kicks. Thank you for the donation, my man. Of course, any super chat that gets put in, we will prioritize that question in the chat. He says 10-team PPR, had the 10th pick, tough spot. He got Josh Allen, Garrett Wilson, Jalen Waddle, Michael Pittman, Derrick Henry, Dalton Kincaid, Zamir White, Neighbors, Warren, Rice, Dobbins. I like this team, man. I like
it as well.
I don't know that I would roster Fields in a 1 quarterback league, and I'm assuming this is a 1 quarterback league. I think he's a great roster spot in a super flex format, but in a 1 quarterback 10-team league, I think Fields is maybe a waste of a roster spot. Are you ever going to start him over Josh Allen? In a 1 quarterback 10-team league where so many quarterbacks are available, are you ever going to trade him worth anything? But outside of that, I really like this team, man. This is a nice squad. Henry, Kincaid, Allen, the stack. Neighbors with the upside, Rice with the upside on the bench. I think this is a nice team.
Yeah, and I would agree with the quarterback. 10-team PPR. There's probably some value on the waiver wires potentially, and it may not be anything exciting, but is Jahan Dotson on the waiver wires? Is Demario Douglas, Darnell Mooney, Andre Yoshivas, Rashad Bateman, Wandell Robinson. Like, I would just take one of those guys over Justin Fields at the moment because you're just going to be starting Josh Allen the whole time there. So maybe that's a good way to re-roster a new upside player.
Damn. I mean, can I pass on Stephon Diggs in the 5th round? A guy who's consistently going in round 3.
Tank Dell went ahead of Stephon Diggs, and he's still available. I mean,
I think Stephon Diggs is going to end up being a huge value if this trend continues. Then 5th round.
I don't know. I mean, even the 5th round, I don't know if I'm taking.
You're out on Stephon Diggs in round 5.
I
know you. I know it's like the cool thing to hate Stephon Diggs, but how can
it's not
you
even
be this out
I don't
on him?
even I don't even hate him. It's just like I don't see him return. I mean, I don't even know what this is. I'm assuming this is like around wide receiver 20-ish.
I'll count for you.
Yeah, I just don't see it personally happening. One of these guys is going to struggle, and I'm not on the clock here.
Do you want to know where the wide receiver 20 was taken off the board? At the 310.
Where?
The 310 was wide receiver 20.
So what's Stephon Diggs?
I got Diggs as a wide receiver 26 in this draft.
Right. Okay. I'm gonna take Rice here. So I mean, look, 26 is pretty deep. To be fair, like this is a lot of wide receivers off the board right now.
Yeah.
But yes, 26 is pretty deep. I would say if it's still within the 20. I'm not going to be taking Stephon Diggs, but I would say yes. You know, in the 26 you said, I'm happy to take a chance as my wide receiver 3 or depending on how I build.
It's important to note that Tank is not going to be out there in 2 wide receiver sets as well. So that is important. At least that's what they showed us week 1. So just another thing to consider. But I do believe that Diggs will be, you know, in the season. I'm not saying Tank will never be out there on 2 wide receiver sets, but they showed us how they plan on using this wide receiver room in week 1. Let's see if that continues. But right now, it doesn't look like Tank is the guy for them in 2 wide receiver sets, and it makes sense. And I think this team is going to run a ton of 11 personnel as well. Like, they will be a very high 11 personnel team with the wide receiver room they have.
How was it last year though? Like, were they running 3 wide receiver sets last year with Robert Woods or Noah Brown?
I'll find out right now.
Because even if Tank Dell wasn't on the field in 2 wide receiver sets and he performed the way he did, I think that's still a plus. But to be fair, they didn't have Stephon Diggs.
Texans ran a 11 personnel 60% of the time, which is 23rd in the NFL, bottom half. Mm-hmm. Now, clearly they plan on changing their offense though, right? Yeah. I mean, that's gonna be higher, I imagine.
Sorry, we just got a super chat from Cam, and I think this is pretty important. Drop Fields for Ladd McConkey. Yes, do that right now. Oh my God, you need to do that right now.
These are the kind of leagues that I would love to be a part of.
Yeah,
you're saying Ladd McConkey's a free agent. He was undrafted.
I'm over here talking about Wandell Robinson, thinking he's like in a 10-man going to be available. I thought Ladd McConkey would be off. Who else is available?
That's what I was going to say. Cam, don't feel like you have to super chat again. All right, you've donated a lot. You're awesome. Who else is on the waiver wire? I got to know who else is available in your league if Ladd McConkey's a free agent.
That is crazy.
Michael, I agree. He says a good sign for Diggs was that Dell wasn't on the field in 2 wide receiver sets. I agree. I think it also is a good sign.
I can't believe. I mean, shit, it's crazy. Sorry, I'm just like
here. That's okay.
I'm just thinking football's here. It's here.
It is here. We're on the clock. What are you thinking? We're gonna grab Ramondre as our RB2 at the 609.
Come on, baby.
I've been drafting a little bit of Ramondre this year. I'm not obsessed with him at all, but he's just very cheap. Any concern for Christian Kirk? I talked about that in a video today, Michael. I wouldn't say like I'm concerned. What I will say is I'm much more excited about Gabe Davis and Brian Thomas, knowing that those are the guys who will start in 2 wide receiver sets. I'm not going to say like I'm panicking on Kirk, but I definitely moved him down my rankings a little bit. I think Brian Thomas is ahead of schedule. I think Kirk Truthers didn't want to see that. And I don't think that Gabe Davis is going to be used the way he was in Buffalo. I mean, In Buffalo, he was top 10 in deep target rate the last 2 years. I mean, they're targeting him on little out routes in Jacksonville. I think the usage is going to be different.
Yeah, they're getting him in. They got a little route tree. They got a little route tree in Jacksonville here. So
yeah, big time.
We about to find out.
Yes, sir. We appreciate everybody who is watching. Thanks so much for hanging out with us, guys. We did just hit 17,000 subscribers today, which is mental. Absolutely mental.
Yeah, that's crazy. Hey, we appreciate you guys, man.
We just got a comment from someone who says, if you are high on Rashee Rice, then you have no business providing fantasy advice. That's funny. And he says he's going to be suspended halfway through the season. If you talk kindly on Rashee Rice at all as a player in fantasy football videos on YouTube, you're guaranteed to have someone question your entire integrity.
I think that's just like main meat. Like, no disrespect. That's just like somebody that's not. He's just watching. He watched ESPN one day and then saw Rashee Rice was potentially going to be suspended and never watched again.
Yeah.
You know, like you got to go a little bit deeper, my guy.
Yeah.
Pause.
Silly.
That's hilarious. All right, so you take Deontay Johnson there.
Yeah.
I had him on my queue. Was hoping that he's going to come back.
Officially a My Guy. The My Guys video is out. Hopefully you guys were able to watch that. It was a fun one to make. But my wide receiver 4 on my team, I'm still buzzing about Diggs at the 504. I mean, I get it. I get why he's not a fun pick to make, but I don't know, dude. Wide receiver 26 is crazy. What's up, Scooby? Welcome in. Yes, sir, Ben. He should be fine, though. Gibbs should be fine.
Gosh.
Scribble says, guys, feel free to call me weird, but I got a little hot and bothered watching Caleb out there.
I mean, you get hot and bothered, brother.
Yeah, honestly, I felt the same way. I was like, oh, damn. I mean,
we all felt some type of way.
So, Jahmyr Gibbs suffered a hamstring injury at practice Monday. Now, if we got that report and week 1 was next week, that'd be concerning. Let's find out how severe it is, but I think the timetable will probably be somewhere in like week 1 where he's ready to go.
Yeah, hopefully it's not too serious. I'm pretty sure he was going to have like an MRI or whatever. What's funny is that, have we been joking about this the whole time and something actually happened like 2 minutes ago? Like, is this just a massive coincidence?
No, he was injured. It's just, he's not out for the year. It's just a hamstring injury.
Right, okay. On my screen, I'm seeing Adam Schefter tweet that 2 minutes ago.
Yes. Sorry, what was the question?
No, okay, never mind. I'm on the same page now.
Okay, that's all right. Page.
Don't do it, Cap. Don't do it. I'm really hoping that this. Okay, perfect. Perfect. Can't be hot and bothered. Okay, so Cam said Curtis Samuel, Rashid Shaheed, Shakira, McLaughlin, Charbonnet are all available. Only reason I took the other quarterback is because I thought I had you had too many wide receivers. I mean, I would say Lamar McConkey is the best, and then I would personally be saying then it will be Curtis Samuel and then Shakira, there Cam. I will be looking to potentially try and target, but with your team, I think that's fine at the moment. Who are your running backs? You have Derrick Henry, Zamir White, Warren, JK. Yeah, I'm okay with that. I'm okay to pick up Lamar McConkey easily. I mean, you can see here he went at the 7-3. So you're chilling. You are chilling. All right, this is exactly what I wanted to do. I was hoping for a tight end to come to me at the 8-5. I'll take Jake Ferguson here. Oh, and my sleeper is messed up.
You all right there?
Just keep in mind that I want Jake Ferguson. I refreshed, and now I don't see the draft board. Unless my internet went to shit. Give me Jake Ferguson.
Jake
Yeah,
Ferguson off the board.
Sleeper is shitting itself. Unless my internet shitting itself. Can you still hear me?
I can hear you. I can hear you.
Okay.
Matthew with a super chat. Appreciate you, my man. He says, can the Rams catch lightning in a bottle twice? Is Jordan Whittington legit? Have him in every league, getting DMs to trade him. Might as well hold him, man. I mean, what are the DMs? Are you getting a 4th-round pick? You might as well hold him. I mean, he was someone that we talked about over on the Dynasty channel a couple weeks ago as someone that you should be stashing. So, you know, we like him. But...
yeah, put him on your taxi and see what happens. Yeah. You know, especially with the older wide receiver in Cooper Kupp. If he does miss time, does Whittington step up? You know, does he step up ahead of, I guess, whoever's there? Is it Tutu Atwell or Demarcus Robinson?
Yeah.
If I'm not mistaken, that are there. Maybe he can get some more opportunity, but I would just keep him on your taxi if you have any.
Sorry, this comment is just making me laugh. It's just people who like comment stuff, they're so confident and they have no idea the situation.
Maybe
you know what I mean?
Maybe everyone should go to that comment and just roast him.
It's fine.
Nah, don't do that. Don't do that.
All right, so in the 8th round, we see Anthony Richardson in the 8th round is kind of insane, actually. Now that I'm seeing that, that's kind of wild. Kyler Murray in the 8th round is hot too. We see Hollywood Brown at the 808, Zach Moss at the 810, Brooks and Benson, 2 rookies back to back. Tebow is stacking up on those running backs there. Tajay
Spears
off the board there at the 902. Let's have a look. We got a pick coming up here.
I really wanted Tajay there, but that's okay. Still got a couple other guys I can take. Couple other. All right, Curtis off the board.
That's actually perfect because I was going to target Khalil Shakir this round. I am moving Shakir up my rankings.
Over Curtis?
I do think so, yeah. I think
so as well.
Curtis, yeah.
I think so as well.
A couple of reasons. I mean, like, firstly,
go for it.
The fact that I don't know if you saw this, but he played every snap in 2 wide receiver sets for this team. So
yes, I did see that.
That is like monumental for what we thought was a slot receiver. For him to be out there for 2 wide receiver sets means pretty much he'll be able to play 80-90% of the snaps that they view him as a starter. And they pulled him off the field before any other starter, indicating that like he should be like the number 1 guy for them, maybe.
That's exactly what I was gonna say. I kind of think that he's leaning towards being the number 1 guy in this offense. Obviously ahead of Curtis Samuel, ahead of Keon Coleman. I think you're just gonna see. Is it weird to kind of compare him to like that crazy Colt Beasley year where like he's just gonna be reliable? Let me make a pick here. I'm not comparing him to Colt Beasley. I think he has a higher ceiling than what Colt Beasley did in that one year that he was like a top 15 wide receiver. So I think that's what I'm feeling right now for Shakir. Yeah,
I agree. Scribble says, how do you feel like Benson did in his debut? Wasn't good. There's no way around it. Wasn't good.
Not at all.
To me, like, I don't know if you guys remember, and you might have to go back a couple years here with me. I would encourage you guys, like, okay, no one's going to do this. Never mind. I was going to say, like, go watch Jonathan Taylor's preseason games, but, like, none of you are going to go do that. Basically, what I'm trying to say is it took a while for Jonathan Taylor, like, the speed of the game to translate for him as far as, like, using his speed in the game when everything is so fast, letting things, slow down, really understanding the offense. It took, like, Jonathan Taylor wasn't out of the gates like a superstar. It took him quite a few weeks, even in the regular NFL season, to really get his bearings. That's what it reminded me of, and I'm not going to sit here and say Trey Benson's the next Jonathan Taylor. I'm just comparing how they are transitioning to the NFL. I feel like it's a combination of, number one, the offensive line was truly awful. Like, there wasn't a carry I saw where he had any space, where there wasn't a defender in his face, where there was, like, clear open lanes for him to exploit. Now, we'll have to look at the All-22 film, but yeah, to me, it's just like, it's too early to make any conclusions, but it certainly wasn't a good debut all the way around.
Yeah.
And by the way, Manuel, appreciate the love and the support, man. He says, "Yo, new to the channel. I watched you with the #1 strategy in fantasy football drafts this year, and
Nice.
tell you what, my boy was preaching. Can I get an amen?" No, that was a fun one to make.
Up.
That was a fun one to make.
Yeah, that's awesome. Appreciate you there, Manuel.
Yes.
Welcome to the channel.
Update on our like goal, by the way, gang. We have a like goal of 80 likes, and we're currently at 67. So we are, what is that, 13? 13 likes away from our goal. If we reach 80 likes, we'll do a second mock draft. So if you want to keep this party going, we want to keep mock drafting, do us a favor and hit that like button.
Come through.
Come through. Joe ass in the car, come through.
Come through.
All right. Damn, that's a great pick. I love Blake Corum this year.
What are you thinking here?
I see Tebow without a quarterback, and I really want to secure Jaden Daniels, so I'm going to grab him here at the 10:09. Not to suggest that Tebow would have taken Jaden. I don't know that, but I didn't want to risk Daniels not being there at my next pick. Was very happy with the preseason. Again, I don't want to overreact, but he looked good. And the highlight everyone is seeing is that deep pass down the field to De'Ami Brown. I don't know if you guys know this or not. That was not a scripted play. That was a scenario in which, and Austin Eckler said this after the game. He said, that wasn't the play call. No, Jaden saw something and decided to audible on 3rd down, his first drive ever, and decided to audible like a freaking badass and throw it down the field because he saw something. To me, that's like insane. Do you know? I don't know. Like, I don't want to get too excited, but that kind of IQ, that kind of confidence at this point of his career, to me is very telling. You have Zach Ertz, veteran, saying, you know, typically with young players, we say, yeah, they're good. They got a while to go, but they're looking good. He's like, no, Jaden Daniels is good now. Zach Ertz is like, he's ready to win right now. So, of course, he's going to say that about his teammate, but
yeah,
it's positive signs.
No, there are definitely some crazy things happening. I really hope he shits the bed as a Giants fan, just period. Fantasy, sure. Just when he plays against the Giants, how about that? When he plays against the Giants, shit the bed. Anything, every other time, I don't care what you do. I want you to be the best quarterback you could possibly be.
Summertime, summertime. Where did Brian Robinson go? Wow, I can take Eckler almost a round and a half after him. It kind of feels wrong not to take Eckler here, but I don't want to go back-to-back Commanders.
Take him.
We've got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 receivers. I don't know if Palmer's going to come back to me, so we're going to grab Palmer here instead. And that's probably showed my hand. Oh, well, but Eckler wasn't going to make it back to me anyway. What's up, Albert? Welcome in. Brian says, like the stream.
How
I
you doing?
appreciate you, man. Scribble says, I like the Bills' offense, but feels unlikely Samuel, Coleman, Shakir, Kincaid are all going to be good. So here's why I love the Bills' offense this year, because you're making a fantastic point. I think you make the same point for Houston. Are we sure Diggs, Tank, and Nico can all be good for fantasy? Are we sure? Right? Because in the last 15 years that we've never seen that happen. We've never seen 3 guys from the same team finish top 20. So I definitely get where you're coming from, because I have some similar concerns with some teams. The difference is you can draft these Bills in like round, 7, 8, 9, 10? Maybe outside of Kincaid. So that's why I feel like the risk is worth the reward with that wide receiver room in particular. But yeah, of course, they're not all going to be good players. You know, they're not all going to be superstars for fantasy.
Yeah,
but they're
agree.
very, very cheap. You went Brandon Cooks there. I like that pick a lot. You and I both like Cooks as a really reliable flex.
Yeah, especially with CD going to be CD with his issues. Not looking good.
Scribble says, do you think Daniels could be more valuable than A-Rich this time next year? And I guess we're specifically talking about Dynasty or maybe in redraft leagues. So the key part to that question was could. Do you think Daniels could be more valuable? Yes.
No question.
I'm not going to sit here and tell you that 100% we know that Anthony Richardson's going to be more valuable. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So
I
yes,
think,
absolutely, I think
yeah,
he could. I think he's a better passer, and that's
that's
important.
exactly what I was going to say. That I think if the value is going to be high, and if there's going to be a reason that's backing that, it's because Jaden Daniels is a better passer than Anthony Richardson, and
Yeah,
Anthony Richardson is, at the moment, from what we know, is going to be a phenomenal rushing quarterback. Um, and if he can't bring that together in the passing game, then Daniels could easily surpass him this year,
yeah,
potentially.
yeah.
Could.
I agree. Honestly, I do think that right now I would obviously bet on A-Rich to be the more valuable player, but that all comes down to how A-Rich develops as a passer. That's the most important thing for him. All right, so in the 11th round, some picks that I really love: Gabe Davis, Jalen Polk, Brandon Cooks, Austin Eckler, Rico Dowdle. I love the Wicks pick as well in the 12th round, and the Pop Douglas pick. I'm not sure about Dotson this year. Recently, the coaches were talking about him, and they said, so is Dotson going to be the primary slot receiver? And he said, well, everyone's competing right now, pretty much outside of Terry. Like, he's like, everyone's competing. We're going to swap people around in different roles. To me, that was not like the boost of confidence I wanted for Dotson personally. I don't know about you.
That's how I felt when I saw that report. It's like, you needed to come in and say Dotson is our starter in the slot, period, no matter who was there. And that wasn't the case. I need to make a pick here.
Yeah, I agree. A little bit concerning.
Yeah. So look, if he can show up this year, it's, Dotson is most likely just going to be a flyer pick. Hopefully, it's some sort of high upside, and maybe he can solidify that slot role in the next 2 preseason games. And if he does, that's exactly what you want to see.
Yeah. Yep, I agree. Okay, sweet. I've got a couple names in mind here. We've only got a couple rounds left. Light goal has been reached. You guys are awesome. You helped us reach our light goal. Absolutely incredible. So let's go ahead and get another mock draft planned out here. All right, so Hendricks takes Leggett. I do like that pick. That was definitely a name I was considering.
Give it to you.
We will shuffle. This might be surprising, but I'll grab Jaleel McLaughlin here. I mean,
that's who I had on my queue. That was next.
I think he's going to be super annoying to Javonte Williams, so I'll take him as this real late round, security blanket to Javonte, if that makes sense. But
no, I agree. That's what I was contemplating with Jaleel, but I figured he might potentially come back to me. I didn't know you were feeling the same way.
Yeah,
especially what we saw in preseason. I feel like they want to give him the work. He looks more explosive. Obviously, he's a completely different back when it comes down to size.
Yeah,
but the way he can be utilized is exciting.
Dom says, we on the Jaden train. Yes, sir. Have you guys drafted any of your leagues? No, not yet. Our first draft is coming up this week, though. First draft is coming up this week.
Yeah.
We gotta figure out buy-ins for that, by the way. Make sure people ain't not paying into the season.
Yeah, they do that all the time, to be honest.
Yeah.
Even if I send it
to an event, follow up, it's like, brother. Sam says, love getting a top 10 wide receiver at the 1206. Shaheed. Bold claim. Bold claim. Shaheed's fun, though. He's definitely a fun name. No doubt.
Nah, for me, that's Darnell Money.
Sleeper's bugging here, so... Okay.
Yeah, it's hella tripping right now.
Gator says it's tripping for him too. Yeah. Scooby says, will Evans and Godwin be a good combo in lineups? I don't know that I would purposely pursue an Evans Godwin
both of them
lineup. I think that's going to limit your weekly upside. But
agreed.
I like both of those picks at ADP. If you miss out on Evans, I do think Godwin's going to be much better this year. They're going to move him back into the slot. I don't know why they decided to play him out wide last year. It's made no sense. But they do plan to move him in the slot. So I think Godwin's going to be much better than people realize. I really like him as a pick as well.
Yeah, I'm a little bit concerned about, this new offensive coordinator. But I mean, with Mike Evans, I feel more confident in him than anyone else.
Yeah. All right, we are on the clock here. Better call Tyrone. How about Tyrone Tracy? I liked what I saw. I liked what I saw in his first game. He looked
Come on, baby.
explosive. He's already ahead of Eric Gray on the depth chart.
It's because
So I
we
liked
have
it.
an offensive line, ladies and gentlemen. That's why. Because finally, the New York Football Giants have some pieces.
Did you guys play your offensive line? I don't
No.
actually remember. I'm genuinely asking. Okay.
We played. We
At
played
least
a
the
couple. We played
backups
a couple
are
guys.
looking okay.
Yeah, I know. Hold on 1 second. Alan's calling me.
No worries. Alrighty. So Michael Wilson off the board as well. Scribble says, I'd rather kiss a chainsaw than press draft on QJ. Yeah, that might be too harsh. That might be too harsh.
Don't be hating. Don't be hating.
The noise about Douglas out of camp is loud. Yes, sir. I like it. What's up, Manuel? I am a Chiefs and Commanders fan, but Badaki is a Giants fan.
I'm a Giants fan. Yeah, I'll take Wandale Robinson. I gotta help Ellen bring something in, so give me a second. I'll be right back.
Juan Dale the Don off the board. Juan Don off the board. All right, I'm gonna get this next mock draft set up for you guys. We'll do one quarterback again, just because that's primarily where a lot of people's leagues lie. And I want to do start 7 for these people who are in start 7 leagues. I know there's a bunch of start 7 people out there, so I just want to help them out. Now, I'm promising you, we'll set a new like goal. If we reach it, we will do a super flex mock for everyone out there who wants super flex or whatever the chat really wants. But let's try and help out everyone. That's our goal, to help as many people in the community as we can get prepared for their drafts. So we will do a start 7 next here. And like I said, we will set a new like goal, and we'll have another opportunity here to do a different format after, if we reach that like goal. Now, being transparent with you, we got quite a bit of work to do. We are flying to Austin, Texas on Friday, Thursday your time, to be with the Flock Fantasy creators. We are going to be making content around a league with the entire Flock Fantasy creator crew. All right, the Flock League. This page is going to be full of content in the next week or two, with a draft from all of us, drafting against each other in a league, content together, all that stuff. So make sure you check out that channel. And like we said earlier, if you haven't yet gone to subscribe to Fantasy Never Stops with Fantasyland, that is a new channel that we are starting, content coming out tomorrow. So go subscribe as well to that channel if you have yet to do so. We appreciate all the love and support over there so far. But let's set a new like goal, yeah? So we are currently at 90 likes.
Oh my gosh, really?
Let's say 125. Let's say 125 is our new goal. 125 likes equals a third mock draft. So let's see how we go. Oh, you son of a bitch. Okay, mental note taken. Mental note taken. I want to leave my draft with Andre Yeshivas every single time. So if I know you are in on him, that is a mental note we have got to take down.
Yeah, I'm 1,000% in on Yoshi.
Do we feel like the Jerry Jeudy hate might have gone too far? I don't know. 14th round, last pick.
I mean,
they just traded for the guy. Why don't we just
what
happens?
they traded for? Was it in like a 4th, 5th round pick? Like it wasn't.
I don't remember what they traded for.
I feel like I almost said 7th, but Brown's trade. Let's see.
I honestly can't remember, but did they not pay him? I think they paid him.
No, they paid him. I'm pretty sure.
So
we'll send a 24 5th round pick and a 24 6th round pick. So a 5th and a 6th.
All right, so we are going to do this start 7 mock, Badaki, because we reached our like goal. Can you join that
Uh,
and tell people how to join as well?
yeah, guys, join the Discord. That link is in the description, and I'll put that link here in the chat for you guys as well. Once you join our Discord, go to the Fantasyland tab with the orange footballs. You can see that up to the left of your screen. Go to announcements. That's how you can join each and every mock draft that we have here. This is a start 7-1 quarterback here. Okay, I'm gonna draft. I'll draft from the 4 here. It is first come, first serve. We will say if you join the first mock draft, please get some new people. So new
An
opportunity to
opportunity, yeah.
join. Yeah. Just so we all fair. If not, I will call you out. 3, 2, 1. I'll just send out that link.
I'll probably be too scared to call you out, but Badaki will do it. So
I'm already pulling up the old one here. Let's see who's here.
Randy Bodandy, double tapping here.
Randy.
that's fine.
Randy, get your ass out.
No,
Who else?
no.
Who else is here?
All right, here we go.
That's all I see actually.
We are going to do a 1 quarterback PPR.
Randy's the
start
problem.
7. Randy, you're not the problem.
You're
Here we go.
a
Start
huge problem.
7 in 3, 2, 1. Remember, start 7. We are going to draft very differently to how we just drafted in a start 9. So keep that in mind as we go. Tyreek Hill, CeeDee Lamb off the board. And look, if I was at the 103 in a start 9, I would feel like y'all gave me a gift. But in a start 7 to get CMC at the 103 is kind of nutty.
Yeah, that is kind of crazy right there.
Tyreek wants to race in 2028. That would be cool to see. I wonder what his 40 time would be compared to the rest of the world right now. What's up, WG? Welcome in. What's up, Dom? He says, y'all got 3K subs in the last week. In the last month we have, I think. The last week would be kind of insane, but it's definitely been awesome to see the growth.
It definitely feels like we've been gaining like 1,000 per week. Which,
that's what it feels like at the moment.
Yeah, which has been pretty incredible. So,
start 7, I am going to put a little bit more of an emphasis on the running backs, considering I only have 1 flex spot, considering I can only start 3 running backs or 3 wide receivers at a time in total. So I will put a little bit more of an emphasis on the running back position. That's why we went Bijan at the 106 here. Derek says, thanks for the gift in the start 7 league, boys. 369 says, guys, T. Higgins is so interesting. If he's going to be on the field, he's going to crush his ADP. I agree.
Yeah. I'm saying if he's going to be on the field, as if he needs to stay on the field, no question.
That is the big problem with T. Higgins. Can he stay on the field?
Yep. That is my biggest concern. So
there's some people on 2 sides of this, but I personally feel like because it's a contract year, I think he'll play through more of these injuries than he typically would. But other people are saying because it's a contract year, he will definitely not. I don't know. I feel like.
Well, I think that's the thing. Like,
play through it.
He's tried to play through injuries, just couldn't. You know,
Yeah.
like, and those were the frustrating days as a T. Higgins owner. T. Higgins is going to start today, plays 1 snap, and is out for the rest of the game. And everyone in the world says if T. Higgins plays, you play.
Yeah. Appreciate you, Dom. Very kind of you, man. Yeah, it's been awesome to see the growth on the channel. So in the first round, we have 4 running backs and 8 receivers. We see Weston at the 12 spot going double RB with Gibbs and Saquon Barkley, which is awesome. Now, we don't know enough about Jahmyr Gibbs to take any conclusions from his injury. However, if it's a severe hamstring, we will have to reassess his ADP. There's no indications that it's severe.
Yeah, Monty's going to go up. Where'd Monty go right now, out of curiosity? So Monty today, keep in mind, the day that Jahmyr Gibbs got injured, he went at the 6'4". Let's see how that's going to look like in the next coming days when we get more information about Jahmyr Gibbs.
We're going to start double hero RB with Bijan and Derrick Henry in this start 7 format. Yes. Never draft stars that are already injured. I can respect it. I'm pretty comfortable taking CMC still. It's the same injury he played through the entire second half of last season with that calf strain, including the playoffs, but I get you. Manuel says, how has JJ fallen so far? It's just people concerned about the quarterback play, really. So you take Achane there.
Yeah, you guys know how I feel about Devon, but let's see what happens here with Devon and see how this board is going to turn out.
So Devon off the board. Isaiah Pacheco also off the board. And we got Etienne at the 205. Lots of running backs going in round 2. Round 2 is a huge running back round this year. I feel like regardless of what format you're in, it feels like running backs are going off the board like crazy in round 2 this year.
Yeah, Nico's a good pick there.
Nico Collins at the 3-1. And like we said, we're comfortable to take a little more risk in a start 7 because it is so easy to fill that starting lineup. So players that we might be a little more concerned about in a start 9, a Nico Collins and Achane, we're comfortable taking them in this format.
Yeah.
Want to shoot for the moon.
Reach for the sky.
So Randy starts 3 wide receivers here. Josh Allen goes off the board.
Josh Allen off the board. Okay. I know a running back is not going to come back to me, so I'm gonna take Alvin here right now.
Sheesh. Yeah, I mean, it makes sense with the running backs that are available, but that is the highest I've seen him go in any draft this year.
Mm-hmm.
We're going to go ahead and we will grab a tight end here. Start 7. I'm comfortable with going tight end this early. We'll grab Travis Kelce at the 306, really prioritizing strength of that onesie position there.
Yeah. Onesie position is definitely key in the start 7.
What's up, Sebastian? He says, drafted a home league yesterday from the 2 spot, took CD, and somehow Wilson and London made it back to me in the 3rd on ESPN. I like that.
Gosh.
I like it.
That's crazy.
Love it, Joel. Love it, love it, love it. Etienne to the moon, Dom says. Very rare to find someone who likes Etienne like me anymore. I feel like my comment sections on YouTube videos are just full of me defending Etienne. So I'm glad to hear I'm not the only one.
You're not alone, brother.
In the 3rd round, we see Allen, Hurts, Rachaad White, Mike Evans, Deebo Samuel.
Okay, not terrible. I'm liking how this is going so far.
The Yeet Man here at the 111 started with Puka Nacua, Jonathan Taylor. Big decision to make here with Waddle, nice. Who I was considering at the 306.
Yeah, so, that's pretty incredible.
To get him that late is very good value in my opinion. Weston's on the clock here at the 312. He started with 2 running backs like I did. Gibbs and Barkley. Again, Gibbs did suffer a hamstring injury. We don't know enough about it yet, but I wouldn't say at this moment I'm uncomfortable drafting him. I think we still need to find out more information, which we do not have just yet.
No, not as of yet. Oh boy. Okay. West here in the corner. Gibbs, Saquon, Malik, Neighbors. 5 seconds to make a pick here. He goes DJ Moore.
I like that start. I like that start a lot. Now, if you're on the 12 spot in a start 7, if you see quarterbacks and tight ends going off the board and you do want to prioritize those positions, the only thing I would say is don't expect to have great options when the board comes back to you. Yeah. Now, I could be wrong. We could go throughout this next round and in round 5 and 6, Weston has great options at those onesie positions, but we'll have to wait and see.
Yeah, definitely some good options here. Come on, baby. Come on, let it fall. Oh no.
Joe Mixon off the board at the 403. Then Lamar Jackson also off the board. Trey McBride. Devonta Smith. We'll take our first receiver and we will make him DK Metcalf.
I mean, this is hot. This is super hot fire, kid.
Heatman says this format is whack. Yeah, look, we don't really mind what format you guys play in fantasy football. Whatever you and your league mates really enjoy, play that way. But make sure you understand your format because it will change everything in how you draft. You go Mark Andrews at 409. Love the value there. Real big fan of it, to be honest.
Hard to pass up there. I thought once this run of tight ends went there, I think
I didn't think Andrews and Kincaid would come back to me at the 407, to be honest.
Yeah, I didn't think so either, and I think that's why. I mean, I like the way I played it. I might have reached on Kamara, and I could have potentially gotten James Cook, but that means I would have gotten another wide receiver, gotten Mark Andrews, and then still not be happy with the running backs now that are coming back. I would have been contemplating between James Cook, Mark Andrews. I'm always going to take Mark Andrews there, and then I had to think about Kenneth Walker, Aaron Jones, Monty. I'll probably just continue to punt that running back position. So I kind of like the way I built this off here.
So Joel's the first team to draft the fifth player. He goes with his third running back in Ken Walker. Randy Bodandy, still no running back of note or just in general. So he goes Aaron Jones off the board as his first running back, Derek here goes with Kyle Pitts at the 503. You're on the clock here. One wide receiver, two running backs, a tight end.
Yeah, I'm going to be taking. Yeah, I'm going to take a wide receiver. I'm going to take Tank Dell.
So Tank Dell comes off the board. Bendy Locks up on the clock with one running back, two wide receivers, a tight end.
Bendy Locks.
Don't let me do it, guys. Y'all let me
He's
do
doing
it. Y'all let me got the Patrick Mahomes, Travis Kelce stack in a start 7 league. That's schnasty. That is straight schnasty off the board. Montgomery is now going at the 507. So obviously people having more and more confidence in him with the injury to Jahmyr Gibbs. I'll just say this, like, if you were to draft today, would you overdraft Monty because of that injury? I don't think I would, but
it just depends on. I mean, it's kind of hard to really. I guess in all formats, I think you kind of have to. I'm not saying you have to, but like I think your initial thought is that yes, I'm going to overdraft Monty, or you get Jahmyr Gibbs and you prioritize David Montgomery.
Sure.
But I don't know. It's tough to say right now.
So Weston on the board. We said if you don't prioritize the onesie positions, you might be stuck in a tough spot, and he is forced to kind of. In my opinion, it is a reach on Evan Ingram, but he knew Evan Ingram wasn't going to come back to him in a start 7. So I don't know. Like I feel like, again, you got to keep in mind if you're on the edges when you make your picks early in your draft, if you really want to get those elite onesie positions, you're going to have to reach a little bit. Otherwise, you might be forced to take an Evan Ingram earlier than you want to. Not to say Evan's a bad pick whatsoever, but
yeah, I mean, that's what happens when you play on the edges. It's tough, and you have to be okay with reaching.
Yeah.
So no one's judging you. I guess you just get upset thinking that okay, Evan Ingram's gonna fall a little bit later, and you're like, oh, actually,
yeah,
the guy at the edges is gonna reach every time.
He has to. You have to.
Mm-hmm.
Rohit says, my friend asked me for help with a draft 14 team PPR. He got Chase round 1, Olave in the second, Hurts in the third. Looked back after the draft and after the draft could have gotten Chase, Pacheco, Cup. So it's Chase, Olave, Hurts, or Chase, Pacheco, Cup. I'd probably prefer the Chase, Pacheco, Cup route myself.
Yeah. Agreed.
All right, so we've got our elite running back, our tight end. We've got our elite wide receiver, or quarterback. Jeez. And now we're up. We'll take our wide receiver 2, which will be Jaden Reed here.
Yeah. Yeah, makes sense.
Love Jaden Reed this year. I think he's going to be a very good player, building off what he did last year.
Damn. Reading the board, I shouldn't take a quarterback here, but I don't want to reach on these wide receivers either. So I'm gonna do my natural stack. Joe Burrow and Jamar Chase. And see
Joe Burrow, Jamar Chase.
And see who's gonna come to me at the 7-4. I make everyone else make that decision for me.
Christian Kirk at the 6-10. Rahit says it was start 7, so I think quarterbacks matter more. Would have gotten A-Rich, Pacheco, Cup. Wait, I thought you said it was 14. Oh, 14 teams start 7. Okay. Sebastian says once. Yeah, go ahead.
Sorry. In the 14 team start 7, that's also, I think, makes it a little bit more difficult. That's 2 more extra teams. So like if you're gonna do a 7 start, maybe try and make a 14-man league, because I think that makes it a little bit more difficult. Sure. Just keep that in mind. I don't know. I remember us having that conversation yesterday of like, 12-man league, 7 star is like kind of boring. You know?
It's just very.
Okay, this is perfect.
It feels very easy, I guess.
This is what I was kind of hoping for. I was going to take Deontay Johnson at the 6'9". I'll let everyone else make the decision for me. He's still there. 7-4 for me.
All right, Deontay Johnson off the board. And let's see what Bendy Locks is up to. 2 running backs, 2 wide receivers, a tight end, a quarterback. We pretty much drafted very similar teams to this point, just in different order. And we have got quite a few options we like here available to us. I think we're going to prioritize the running back spot, though, this round. We're going to grab Raheem Mostert, who, if he has the same role this year as he did last year, will again be the steal of fantasy football drafts. Now, there's no guarantee that happens, but I'm willing to take a shot on him in the 7th round there.
I agree.
Central says if you had to pick Njoku or Ferguson. Ferguson for me.
That's Ferguson.
Yeah,
that's Ferguson. No question, Ferguson, especially what's happening with CD, and I think he's gonna be one of the best tight ends this year to have in fantasy.
Yeah.
Especially with his value. I mean, like, he's still on the board. Almost everyone has a tight end outside of 2 teams. And you're buzzing if Jake Ferguson is available.
Manuel says, who will be the biggest bust this year in your opinion? So this is always a difficult question to answer because, you know, we as people in the fantasy industry, we like to think about the positives, you know, what could happen, you know, best case scenarios, those kind of things. But I don't know. I mean,
give me your
I can't tell you. I can't tell you that like I know who's gonna bust. All I can tell you is like Achane is a very concerning pick to me. Kyren Williams gives me a little bit of the bubble guts.
That's where I was going with, and Devon.
Those 2 names, just a little bit undersized guys, injury history. I mean, Kyron's injury history over his first 2 years in the NFL is quite concerning to me. But I am still going to draft them because I like the upside. But I do think they're a little bit of, you know, scary picks, if you will.
Yeah, I agree. I mean, I'll try and give you one for each position. I think quarterback for me is Anthony Richardson. Running back is Devon. Wide receiver, I think, can go multiple ways with a lot of different people. For me, I feel like a lot of people are in on George Pickens. I'm not. I've been in and out on George Pickens. I think now I'm completely out. And at the tight end position, I think that's probably the toughest one.
Why now out on George Pickens? What has changed for him?
Well, I've always been in and out. I think for me, it's always been the quarterback play. I'm not 100% confident in Russell Wilson or Justin Fields.
Okay.
No matter who is playing, and I think there's going to be a lot of inconsistencies. Can he finish as a top 20 wide receiver? Yes. Is that returning ADP? Yes, but like it's just still an average. It's just an average person. Like it's an average player in my eyes. Not saying
Okay.
he's average. It's just an average return that you're drafting George Pickens. Like that's kind of how I'm feeling right now. At the tight end position, I'd say that's pretty difficult to say. I'll probably say the biggest one that comes to mind is probably Kyle Pitts, but there's a lot of positive things going his way currently.
Yeah, I'm very much the opposite on George Pickens. With no Ayuk trade, and unless an Ayuk trade happens, I will definitely be drafting George Pickens in a lot of areas I can. The guy who has been dominating target share in that offense for the past 3, 4, 5 years, Deontay Johnson's gone, and George Pickens is going to be the clear number one wide receiver. His target share goes up each and every year that he's been in the NFL. His yards per game, his receptions, his analytics, he's getting better as a receiver. So I'm very much pro George Pickens this year myself, but I can understand the concerns. Please elaborate more on Ferguson versus Njoku. Njoku, I'd encourage you guys to look up his splits with and without Deshaun Watson. I'm not saying Deshaun Watson can't support him. I'm saying he hasn't. Not that he can't, but in the first 2 years, when Njoku and Watson have played together, Njoku's been completely average. I mean, he hasn't even averaged over 9 points per game. So all of Njoku's good games, pretty much for the most part, like all of his good stretches have come with someone not named Deshaun Watson in Cleveland. Now, as far as Ferguson goes, Badaki mentioned this in a video earlier, number one tight end targeted in the red zone.
The red zone.
So a high-powered offense, the best offense in the NFL last year.
There's no one else outside of CeeDee Lamb there as well. Michael Gallup is gone. They didn't bring in anyone on the outside. You have Jalen Tolbert. Yeah, you have Brandon Cooks, who was getting drafted in the 11th, 12th round of your redraft leagues. Jake Ferguson can easily be the second target on this team.
Yeah.
And not only that, we've seen Dak Prescott support multiple fantasy relevant tight ends in the past. Dalton Schultz. Who was the other guy? I completely forgot his name. He got injured. But yes, I think there's a lot of different opportunities and more opportunities, for Jake Ferguson.
Citra says, can't you say the offense is starting to make plays for him and it's not Watson's fault? So, sure. Yeah, you can make that case. You can make whatever case you want, really. But I guess just tell me what tight end you've ever wanted to start in a Deshaun Watson offense at any point ever in his career. Now, you can make a strong case Njoku's the best tight end he's ever played with, but we have 2 years now. We have 2 years now where Njoku's been completely average with Watson. So, sure, you can make whatever case you want. And there is a lot of different ranges of outcome. But if you're telling me I get to draft the guy who is the number 2 option for Dak Prescott in the number 1 scoring offense in the NFL, who had the most targets amongst tight ends in the red zone, I'm probably going to lean that way over Njoku. But Njoku's the better talent. If you swap Njoku and you swap Ferguson on different teams, Njoku's probably a top 5 tight end. So
and
it's
you have
not,
to think
it's
about
not a lack
the
of
offense
talent
as well. Yeah, I mean, the Cowboys is a high-powered offense. What were they, top 5 in points per game last year? So I think you have to think about that as well. I feel pretty confident in. Look, I'm not out on Njoku, but if you're telling me if I had to choose between one, is Jake Ferguson based off the offense. Now, I do believe Deshaun Watson is somebody that we need to be giving a second chance to. I brought out a video. Deshaun Watson is somebody that when he was on the field, I think it was the 3 out of the 4 games that he was on the field and fully healthy, he was a top 8 quarterback in that span, which is still pretty decent, especially where you're drafting him. So,
Sure.
There's a lot of things that go on when it comes down to David Njoku and Deshaun Watson, but
I think so if you miss out on David Njoku, I think you're missing out on a top 10 tight end. Like I don't think you're missing out on, a top 3 breakout tight end. And I could be wrong. I've been wrong before on many things. But I struggle to see an outcome where Njoku's like this player that you're like, holy moly, I totally missed out on this,
Holy moly, guacamole.
So we took Shakir there at the 10:07. We are drafting Shakir in every draft lately.
Yeah, I was trying to,
But,
damn.
Like, Njoku's a very good player. It's just tough when there's been like multiple years and it's a similar offense, similar staff, similar quarterback, So. And look, I think these guys are fine options late down boards. I just think Ferguson has a higher range of outcomes. Yeah, I can respect that, Joel. It makes a lot of sense. I get that central for sure. I always thought McCarthy's offenses sort of ignored tight ends. Well, last year McCarthy was running the offense though, right? So that's the kind of offense we're talking about, what we saw last year with Fergie, his red zone usage. But I definitely hear y'all. So Gabe Davis comes off the board. That's perfect. We're going to go ahead and grab us some Zeke Elliott here as our 4th running back. I honestly, I just feel like start 7 is too easy. It just feels too easy.
It's just too damn easy.
I don't know. I'm not even sitting here like saying like I have the best team or anything, but make sure you get an elite tight end, elite quarterback in the first 5 rounds and fill out the rest of your roster. That's really my main advice in a start 7.
Yeah, you're not stressing, right? Like,
no.
Someone goes one way and it kind of ruins the way you really wanted to build your team. That's okay, because there's going to be so many other values on the board potentially. So I agree.
Yeah. Harrison, we do play with kickers and defense in our home league. For whatever reason, our home league, they really want to keep kickers and defense. I don't care if we have them or not. Sometimes I think it's annoying if I lose because my kicker does shit, or because another person's defense has like 3 touchdowns. I'm like, how in the world were we supposed to figure any of that out? It's all so random. So I'm not a huge fan of it, but I know a lot of people like it, so I don't really mind what way you play.
Yep. I don't mind it. I'm happy to keep it, and I'm happy to take it out. So
yeah,
I think it gives me a reason to watch, maybe a defense that I wouldn't normally watch, or root for a defense to do good at the time. I think that's what's exciting about kickers and defense. You get pumped if freaking Justin Tucker hits a 60-yard field goal. You're like, oh shit, hell yeah. Or you get excited
randomly, like someone streams the worst defense in the NFL and they have 3 defensive touchdowns, and you're like, I lost my week because of this, this random thing that no one could have predicted.
Yeah, you just get lucky, and that's what's exciting about fantasy. It's really just, there's numbers, but at the same time, there's a lot of luck in there as well.
I have no idea what I'm doing here with this last pick. I don't think we reached the light goal, but that is actually okay, because we do have some teams that we need to review. So we appreciate you guys. The light goal was 125. We didn't end up getting there. That is totally okay. But let's go ahead and review some teams, okay? If you want a team review, there's 2 ways you can go about getting it. Okay, so if you've already drafted this year and you really want to know what we think about your team, well, you can get a team review through the Flock Fantasy website. The link I'm going to pin is if you just want to get a team review. Okay, that's if you just want to purchase a team review. The other option is to use the promo code LAND to become a yearly Mother Flocker member. Okay, so 2 options in the chat there. The first link is if you just want to purchase a team review and this interests you and you want to hear our thoughts about your team and all that. The second link is if you want to become a yearly member. We believe that is the most bang for your buck. Not only do you get a complimentary team review when you become a yearly member, but you also get access to everything else on the website.
Yeah.
Okay. All of the, draft guides over there, the cheat sheet that we offer. You get access to the trade calculator, every single thing that we offer over on the website. When you're a yearly member, you get access to that as well as a team review. So if you think about it, things like all the draft guides that are on the website, our cheat sheet, which we just mentioned, any articles or databases that people create, our consistent rankings, which will update every single week, the trade calculator, which is the best calculator in the industry, and then of course the My Teams feature as well. So we do have some teams that we're going to review. That is what we're going to get up to now. And the first team is single mom _ DTF.
I mean,
which is incredible.
Sure.
Yeah,
I mean,
absolutely incredible.
Send the Addy.
So we are going to review this team. And let me just let him know in the chat here that we're reviewing his team as well. I'll send him a link. I'm just going to say, hey, reviewing your team on the stream now. And then I'll send a link to the stream as well to him.
Yeah.
All right, so let's go ahead and start with single moms DTF. Oh my gosh.
I'll read this context here. It says, "Hi, I'm in a 12-team Superflex Titan Premium 0.75 star 11. I did a lot of trading up the last round, of which I sort of regret. It was a bit of an overnight mistake. I left in the queue, traded my 7th and 8th in the startup to move up to the 5th, and got Flowers. Could have had Metcalf. I like to compete this year. I'm thinking of down tiering either Allen/Stroud to improve running back tight ends or grab another elite wide receiver. Looking for advice on trades to make in order to compete this year and next year. I traded many
This is a 12 team. It's a start 11. Start 11 is a bigger format, right? And it's super you can
flex.
Start up to 6 wide receivers at a time because you have 4 flex spots in this format. So this is a larger team, and that is something that we have to consider once we review this team. And again, it is super flex. So let's go ahead and pull. Oh, I actually hit start twice. My bad.
We'll have a look.
Let's go ahead and pull up his team here.
The single mother DTF is the name of the team.
Yes.
Continuing with the theme.
Currently ranked second, by the way, overall in his league. Second overall.
Not bad. At the quarterback position, Josh Allen, CJ Stroud, clearly the strongest room in the league there. At the running back position, Tony.
Sorry, by the way, if you just finished a startup dynasty draft and your 2 quarterbacks are Josh Allen and CJ Stroud, like, how did you pull that off?
Yeah.
It sounds like you mortgaged maybe your entire future, but that's incredible to get those 2 names. Sorry, continue.
Yeah, I agree. At the running back position, Tony Pollard, Aaron Jones, Big O Roscoe, Gus the Bus, and the list goes on there. So not the strongest room, but you do have Tony and Aaron Jones, even Gus Edwards that can help you potentially compete this year. At the wide receiver position, we like to prioritize wide receivers in the flex, and you have up to 4 flex spots, or starting up to 6 wide receivers in total. Yeah. So you have Amon-Ra St. Brown, Tyreek Hill, Zay Flowers, Christian Watson, Deontay Johnson, and DeAndre Hopkins, which those will be your starting 6, which is if you look at it right now, it's not terrible. There's some high upside guys that we do like, but after that,
on his last legs, and there's no draft capital on this team.
And after that, there's no one else that we really there's no one else that we love here. So it is I would say you have 5 exciting wide receivers, no doubt about it, because like Zach said, D-Hop is on his last leg, and you have no tight end, essentially.
So here's how we got Allen and Stroud. We clearly traded some of our picks in a startup to get back into the first round, because it's obvious because our running backs are in a rough spot. Our tight end is in a really, really rough spot, especially with this being a tight end premium, and the premium being 0.75, if I remember correctly. So to be honest, now looking at this, I don't feel like I would have loved what we did to get CJ Stroud and Allen on the same team. I feel like we would have overpaid. We would have sent future first round picks. We would have sent multiple picks in a startup to get there. And it's evident in our running back room and our tight end room that we paid the price to do so. Now, if we're going to look at a starting lineup, again, it's a start 11. He would be starting Allen and Stroud. He would be starting Pollard and Aaron Jones. He'd be starting Amon-Ra, Tyreek, Zay, Watson, Deontay, Hopkins, or maybe Gus Edwards. And that tight end, I have no idea. I guess you start Cade Otton. So if we were to grade this team on a scale of A+, let's say down to F, I want to grade it as a dynasty team, not just as in like how it currently is constructed. And as a dynasty team, I think it's like a C+, B- type of range.
That's where I'm at. I was gonna say C+, just because you have such solid quarterback play, and you still have relatively young wide receivers in this. The top 4 guys from Amon-Ra to Christian Watson. And then we can always build off of running backs a little bit later.
If I was to tell you what direction I would take this team myself, it would be tearing down from these superstar quarterbacks. By the way, we can't really use draft capital to make moves. I mean, we have our first in 2026. Do we really want to put our team in that position where we have no flexibility moving forward? So if I look at this team, the number one thing I'm thinking about is, can I tear down from both Allen and Stroud? And does that give me a more complete team? And by the way, if this was a 12-team start 7, okay, we don't need to think about some of these things. But in a start 11, that is a larger format, and the tight end is given a premium, and we have no tight end of note. We don't even have a top 20 tight end in rankings, right? In a 12-team league. So if this was my team, my direction moving forward is, how can I tear down from those superstar quarterbacks? And that might be frustrating because you might have traded up to do that in a startup, but I don't think it was the right move if that is what happened. So do you agree? Do you disagree? Are we on the same page?
No, I don't disagree. I don't disagree. I'm looking at other ways maybe we can potentially not give up the quarterback, but it doesn't look like you can here in this format unless you know that you're not going to compete. And one of the biggest things that I'm concerned about, is tearing down and getting, at least from what we understand for the 25 class, obviously anything can change. It's really running back heavy. But I'm really trying to look at wide receivers and potentially like a
we have no
wide
pick in
receiver type
25,
combo.
so we can
Yeah, I know.
definitely improve that running back position. I mean, look, I don't know where else you wiggle with this team. Like, respectfully, outside of Amon-Ra St. Brown, if we remove the quarterbacks, who in Dynasty are you able to like truly sell and change the shape of your team? Like Tyreek is only teams who are competing are going to want Tyreek in Dynasty. But all right, so let's have a look. If we were to tear down from Josh Allen, what's a team that could potentially use some help? This guy has Fields, Cousins, Watson. I think he could be an option there. There's no tear down though, so let's keep looking. We got a guy who has McCarthy. That's not going to work.
That's not going to tear down.
Drake May. That's not going to work. We could tear down to Daniels if we expect, like, would you do Daniels plus Lamb and Hawkinson, and then we'll figure out what else to send back? So Daniels, Lamb, Hawkinson, and we'll send you back Josh Allen, Cade Otton, and we will also send you, who else was on our team? We'll also send you back, man, the depth is so tough here. But we can send him back DeAndre Hopkins.
I was going to say, is this enough? Like, my first instinct was like is it too much to send Josh Allen and Tyreek Hill and get Daniels, Lamb, and TJ back? I feel like that could be a move.
That feels like you're paying too much to me. You're going from the number one quarterback in a super flex 12-man league to someone that has a lot of question marks.
Sure. That's fair. I guess I'm thinking of CeeDee Lamb. CeeDee Lamb right now worth 3 first-round picks. Sure. Essentially, I guess Josh Allen is kind of the same. So if you were to think about it, that kind of canceled themselves out. But I get what you're saying for sure.
I feel like Josh Allen is a more difficult player to trade for. I feel like he's the most difficult player to trade for in a Superflex Dynasty League. But I guess if you want to go a different route, you could go Daniels, Brooks, Ladd, TJ.
No, I still want to keep. I still want CD in the deal.
Yeah.
So
Well, it
I'm not.
doesn't make
I'm
sense
not.
if you have to sell Tyreek for this
Okay,
team.
that's fair. All right, let's
I
see what
mean,
else we have.
I would throw in Watson.
Yeah, that's fair. James the Giant Page, Jordan Love, Brock Purdy. This could be a good one here. Cheering down from Jordan Love.
Okay, James the Giant Peach. Yeah, Jordan Love's a great option. We were tearing down to Jordan Love all offseason. Unfortunately, he just signed a long-term deal, so it might be more difficult. But let's say, like, if we were able to land Love, Achane, and Pitts somehow. All right, we got to give up a lot more here. Love, Achane, and Pitts. And we're going to give you Josh Allen and Christian Watson. And we're also going to add in Otton. And we're also going to add in, let's say, Pollard?
Yeah, maybe. Yeah, Pollard, potentially.
That's an option for you. Now, it looks like your league might overvalue tight ends as well, so that might be difficult to pull off. But this is a guy who, by the way, he doesn't need Otton back, actually. He doesn't even need Otton because he's still got Mark Andrews on his team as well. So you can send him Watson, and you can send him, who's someone on your team that's a depth piece. That might be a little bit more enticing. What, like a...
Trying to find his team
Your
again
depth
here.
is rough here.
The depth is rough.
Rashawn Johnson, maybe?
Yeah,
A little bit more of an
I mean, if
unknown
this
wild
guy's a
card.
win now, if this guy's a win now team, like, would he want more depth, like DeAndre or Gus or something like that?
Maybe. But we're
It's not
giving him
sexy.
Watson.
Yeah, it's not sexy, but yeah.
Yeah.
Well, I guess that's a starting point. Just try that. Try that now.
Yeah.
Starting point.
None of these trades are going to get accepted like straight away, but you just want to kind of start to negotiate. How about Brock Purdy? Maybe Brock would be easier. If you can get Purdy, Pitts, and Reed, how about that?
Yeah.
For Josh Allen and Christian Watson?
Yeah, for Watson.
That feels like a doable trade right
Yeah,
there.
that definitely does feel doable. The other guy I was thinking is Kyler Murray. That could be nice.
Yes. Man, the options aren't ideal outside of quarterback. But what would you do, for example? Man, there's not a great option here. I mean, it would have to be Kyler, a first.
Yeah, that's what I'm thinking. That's what I'm thinking. And I think he has Mike's Mullets first. So that looks like it's going to be a pretty high first round pick. He also has his first.
Yeah.
The Kyler Murray owner has DTF's first.
Yeah.
So maybe getting your first.
Okay. So he's probably not looking to go that direction, but you could try it.
You can definitely try.
Okay, so Kyler's an option. Do we want to tear down all the way to Dak? Not with the options on that team.
Nah, I don't think so.
Man, how about Burrow and Goff? He's not gonna tear up. I don't think this guy.
No, the other one I can see is
Tua?
I don't know.
Tua Waddle.
Yeah, Tua Waddle. Get the stack there. Yeah, I like Tua a lot.
Has he got a tight end? No. But if you can add Noah Fant, I actually really like that. Add Noah Fant, and then you can throw him. Who did you have? You had
Kate Alton.
Who else did he have?
Tucker Kraft, Jonnu Smith, Hayden Hurst.
Besides Jonnu Smith, just to see. All right, who else is a tier down option? Herbert? I think Herbert you could legitimately tear down from right now.
Yeah, Herbert's definitely a good one.
Herbert. I think if you did Herbert, Cook, and Brian Thomas.
Why am I having a hard time finding Herbert? Okay, Herbert. Here we go. Jay Spencer. Herbert, Cook, Brian Thomas. Yeah, that's nice.
We'll give you Allen and Gus Edwards or something.
Yeah, that's good. I think this is a good starting point. That really changes your team here.
The other option is you could tear down to Caleb Williams. It's risky, and I don't think this guy would do it. His entire team is so young, so I don't think he's
I don't think he'll do it either.
How about with CJ Stroud? I'd say pretty much the same deals across the board, actually.
Yeah.
Right? I think you can literally we can
Try
say
the
like CJ Stroud across the board. Like right now, they're both considered tier 1 assets in Superflex leagues.
Yeah, I agree.
I think you gotta trade at least one of these guys away. And it's probably tough because you might have paid so much
he's in
to
the
get
chat.
them.
Sure Fun here. We appreciate you, man. We're just talking about a couple of different moves that you can make.
Yes, sir.
Definitely go rewatch that. But we're basically Twitter version here. If you want to get some more depth to be more competitive here, you might have to down tier these quarterbacks, either Josh Allen or CJ Stroud. And we gave you a couple different options.
Yeah.
There's some teams that you can go out and try to tier down, whether it's tearing down the quarterback, getting a tight end, and another wide receiver. So definitely go back and watch that.
And by the way, if you were in like a start 7 Sure Fun, then it would probably be easier for us to say like, all right, you don't need to go out and do that. But because your league is start 11, it's a very large starting lineup, and you have that tight end premium. I think the main way you can improve your team is to tear down from one of those big quarterbacks. Shore says, hoping I can trade Stroud to tear down, but we have someone who's hoarding a few quarterbacks at the moment. Yeah, and honestly, ideally, Shore, for me, if I had this team, I would want to tear down from Allen and Stroud. Like, I would want to tear down from both of those names, end up with, I don't know, like a Jordan Love, a Kyler Murray, but we add like a bunch of wide receivers and running backs and a tight end we love, Yeah, so that's my ideal route with this team.
Start 11, and the reason why we're really prioritizing that. Yeah, start up to 6 wide receivers. So you want to get a little bit more depth there, because your depth is not the strongest currently. You do have a really top heavy team at the wide receiver in the quarterback room.
Yeah,
but
I personally would not be selling my 26 first round pick, by the way, because this team outside the quarterbacks, it could very easily fall apart, in my opinion, with Pollard. How reliable is Pollard going to be over the next couple of years? Aaron Jones is in his 30s. Gus Edwards is old. We don't know if Watson's going to be good or how long D-Hop has left. We have no starting tight end. So that 26 first round pick has got to stay with us. But, hey, let us know, Sure Fun, if you have any last minute questions that we weren't able to answer. Of course, go back and watch the earlier part of the review. I am going to go ahead and send this screenshot of the whiteboard to you, so you have access to this on the Flock Fantasy site. But feel free to take, the next couple minutes. Any questions that you have, we will answer them here on stream. It's great to have you here with us. We appreciate the support big time.
Yeah. Love.
And just catching up on, I don't know if we actually read the chat. I think we might have missed that it was there. The startup was finished this year, a few weeks ago. Okay.
Oh, no.
Got me through a lot of the summer listening to Dynasty Tips when YouTube was not buzzing with trendy in-season content. Thanks for being hardworking OGs and producing great in-depth content year-round. I appreciate you, man. I appreciate you big time. 5-point passing touchdown. Bonuses for 100-plus yards. 200-yard receiving running. Okay, gotcha. Okay, so Shore here says, yeah, I figured it would be hurting at running back after next season. He says, should I prioritize trying to get young upgrades at running back or tight end with a tear down at quarterback? Yeah.
Yeah.
In every trade that we suggested to you, there's a tight end involved. Hawkinson, Pitts, Njoku, Fance, except for this one. So overall, we want to tear down and just get good quarterbacks that we like, as well as additional assets, because even if in the tear down you don't trade for a tight end, you'll trade for additional assets. It'll give you more flexibility in the trade market.
Yeah, completely agree. But hopefully that helps, man. Hopefully we helped you once you go back and watch that.
Yes.
Decent team.
We'll wait for any last minute questions, but we will transition to the next person. Again, we appreciate you big time, my man. Thank you for the support. Thank you for the love. Thank you for keeping the lights on over here with your donation.
Y'all got some interesting team names today. This one is Chase Down Ass Up, which is actually incredible. Like, that is such a good team name. Shore Fun says, cool, sounds good. I'll start marketing / getting in the ears of those league mates. Absolutely, man. Absolutely.
Yeah.
I mean, it's
awesome.
nonstop, the trade market in Dynasty Leagues. It is nonstop. All right, we are going to go ahead and start this review. I just want to give him the link like I did here for Shore Fun. So let me send that to him before we start so he can hop on the stream if he wants to. Let's see here. Okay, there we go. So let's go ahead and start this. It is, again, the username is Coralie. And the team name is Chase Down Ass Up, which is
I'll read it.
Incredible.
Start 11, have tight end premium. He does his starting lineup there. He's his first year out of the startup, so there aren't a ton of trades just yet. Haven't had a rookie draft yet. I have the 108, the 204, the 205, the 308, and the 309. Draft is only 3 rounds. Guy with second pick might trade down with me for my 108, 204, and 309. No offers yet, though. So options for this draft is to both pick up options in possible trades. Need lots of help. I'm a Raiders fan, so if I can see at least one option that allows me to keep him, that would be lovely. Okay.
So yeah, just recapping again here. They did a startup, but their rookie draft is separate. He showed us all the draft picks he has. It's only 3 rounds. So I'm assuming the guy at the 102 is thinking about trading down, and that means you would sell the 108, the 204, and the 309.
And this is a one quarterback league. So 102 wants to trade down, so that can be Martin Harrison, Malik Neighbors.
Yeah.
And you have the 108, 204. So it just depends on what that looks like. I think we can definitely be interested in that.
So one quarterback, start 8. I thought he said start 11.
Yeah, here it says start 8.
Well, his lineup says 1 quarterback, 2 running backs, which is 3 wide receivers, which is 6.
7. I think the tight end wide receiver is flex.
And then he has another flex that's 3 wide receivers, 3 running backs. Okay, so let's just consider this a start 11. So that is a bigger format. That's fun for a 1 quarterback league. You're actually start 11 though, 1 quarterback. So that's pretty much as big as it gets in a 1 quarterback format. You know, it really doesn't get much bigger than that. By the way, if you guys want your team reviewed by us, very, very simple. I'll put 2 links in the chat. The first one that's about to go in there is if you just want a team review, you don't want to be a member on the website. The second link that I'm about to send in there is if you want to be a yearly member with the promo code LAND, you get a complimentary team review as well as access to all the premium tools on our website. So those are your 2 options. But yeah, so start 11, 1 quarterback with a tight end premium. So that's a bigger lineup for 1 quarterback.
That is a bigger lineup for 1 quarterback. All right, I'll have a look at this team here. At the quarterback position, Trevor Lawrence, Matthew Stafford. I think this is a good quarterback room with Aiden O'Connell there.
I wouldn't say that's a good quarterback room in a 1 quarterback league.
I don't mind Trevor Lawrence in a 1 quarterback, but I guess I get what you're saying.
That's not a top half of your quarterback room.
No, it's not. But I guess you don't. At least you have Trevor Lawrence and not like Matthew Stafford and Aiden O'Connell. Sure. But I understand what you're talking about there. At the running back room, Joe Mixon, Rachaad White, big old Roscoe there. So not terrible at the running back position. At the wide receiver position, gosh, Brooks is screaming like crazy. Jamar Chase, Puka Nacua, Devontae Adams, Quentin Johnston, and the list goes on there. So you definitely need some wide receiver options.
And tight end, there's nothing. Honestly, this is a pretty poor team as currently constructed, in my opinion. Just like I hope you guys come to us, and if you do want a team review, I hope honesty is the most important thing for you guys. This is not a good team. Like right now, currently constructed, this is really rough, in my personal opinion. Especially considering this is a start 11 league. And I know we have the draft picks, and we'll talk about how to maximize that. But right now, you're starting Trevor Lawrence, Joe Mixon, Rashad White. You're starting Jamar Chase, Puka Nacua, Devontae Adams, and then you have 4 flex spots. You have 4 flex spots you have to figure out. Who are you starting there? Rashawn Johnson, Quentin Johnston, Jake Bobo, Elijah Mitchell.
What happened to your players? That's what I'm curious about. Like, why does he have? Doesn't feel like he has a massive heap of depth.
Now, you do have your first round pick in 2025, which was the next thing I was going to look at, because to be honest, like, this isn't a team. I don't even think you can compete this year. To be honest, like, to be 100% honest with you, I don't think you compete this year. I truly don't. Like, even with these rookies that we're going to draft, which is going to be very exciting, and we can still build a good team and we'll get better from here, I don't see how you compete this year at all whatsoever. You have no tight end worth mentioning. And again, 4 flex spots. You know, ours says start 8, but you're telling us start 11. If you're truly going to start 11, you are flexing Quentin Johnston. You're flexing Jake Bobo. You're flexing Trey Tucker and Elijah Mitchell and Rashawn Johnson. It's just not a place you want to be. We don't even have a top quarterback to carry us. So I'm not trying to be brutal. I'm trying to be honest. Like, right now, I would say this is probably like a D- team.
Yeah. Look, I think it's just a lot of the depth that you don't have that is really hurting you in the start 11. Not only that, the tight end position. And yeah, I agree. Look, you do have some picks in 24, but you did mention potentially a trade happening. So you said the guy with the second pick might trade down with me for my 108, 204, and 309.
I don't even think we can afford to do that, man.
Yeah, because of you actually need the depth.
Your depth is so shot. So, like, we will get Malik Neighbors, and that would be awesome. But we'll have Puka, Malik Neighbors, Devontae Adams, and then we still have to start Quentin Johnston or Jake Bobo or Trey Tucker.
Yeah.
Like, we still have to find 3 other names. And we still have no tight end that's worth talking about.
Do you have all of his picks? He has first, second, and third, and 25.
Let's bring these picks in. All right. And let's talk about scenario 1. We'll go through both scenarios where in one you can keep the 108, and the other, let's talk about if you were to trade up, what that would look like for your team and what sort of implications there might be. You know, she wouldn't move because of the implications. Now, if you know what I'm talking about, then you know. Is anybody a fan of It's Always Sunny in Philadelphia? Love that show. Anyway. All right, so let's say we stick and pick. Now, if we look at our rookie rankings, which, by the way, if you guys don't know, an addition of you being a member on the Flock Fantasy website is you get access to really cool things like, for example, our rookie report. Now, our rookie report was released back in April. Okay, that is when Dynasty rookie drafts are popping off. That's when they're at their all-time peak. But you will still have access to that rookie report, which you can see right here. Almost 9,000 people have viewed this rookie report. So go ahead and search for that. That's why there's a search bar here. All right. 2024 Dynasty Rookie Report. That's version 4.0. Over 9,000 people viewed that. Now, inside that, we'll have our rankings, etc., players we're targeting, all that. But let's have a look at our rankings. One quarterback, Badaki. Who would be your 108? One quarterback.
I'm trying to pull that up.
Be Jonathan Brooks. It would be Xavier Worthy. It would be Ladd McConkey. This is the range. It would be Brian Thomas. And like Brock Bowers range. That's the range here, I'd say.
Yes, that is where I'm at. Brian Thomas, Brock Bowers. Here we go. Ladd, Xavier, Worthy, Jonathan Brooks, Benson. That's it for me.
So here's the other thing we need to think about. He said that the trade involved a pick that he no longer has. He said it involved the 204 and the 205. and we only see the 208 and the 209. So maybe he moved those picks. That's
wonder
what
what
it
for.
looks like to me. Yeah. So let's just assume that he has the 208 and the 209 now. I don't really. He must have made a trade before we reviewed his team.
Before we reviewed his team, yeah.
So at the 208, for me, that's, and this is a 12-man, right?
Yeah.
208 is in the range of a Burton, a Jermaine Burton, for example. In the range of maybe if a Corum or a Lloyd falls, they probably won't in a one quarterback format. A Polk, a Leggett.
Yeah, Polk. There you go. Polk, Leggett. I don't know. Maybe Keon potentially could be available there.
Yeah. Right.
Ricky could potentially be available there. Right. Yeah. Those guys potentially be available.
That's the same exact range here at the 209. And then the 308, I mean, we can't really tell you who's going to be available at the 308. Just go best player available at that point. You should have our rankings on the website. And by the way, updated rookie rankings. All you got to do is, let's say, go Dynasty 1 quarterback or Superflex. It doesn't really matter. All you got to do is filter by expert. And we need your rankings updated, Badaki, but mine are there. All you got to do is click on rookies. And as long as it's sorting by my name, you'll see my latest rookie rankings. Okay, so let's play scenario 2, which is where we trade up with this proposed trade that he's talking about. So let's say you ended up with the 102, but you essentially, it sounds like you would lose pretty much all the rest of your picks if you did that, right?
Yeah.
Pretty much.
Oh. It's basically the 108 for all those picks, hypothetically.
So you would end up probably with Malik Neighbors or Marvin Harrison.
Exactly.
And that would be actually totally fine. Sheesh, and a one quarterback. I don't know if I'm opposed to this, actually, Badaki.
That's what I'm saying. You kind of said it earlier, and it was like, I think I might be taking Malik Neighbors over all these guys and then bank on a running back in 2025 with a 25 pick, and then just continue to build. Like, you're not competing this year, you're not competing next year, and you know that this is a multiple year build. Not only do you not have the wide receiver depth, you don't even have a tight end that you can start with confidence. At least you have Joe Mixon and Rachaad White. Joe Mixon gets a 3-year contract extension. Does Rachaad White play or gets a contract extension himself? Hypothetically. Then you have Jamar Chase, Puka, Devontae Adams, who he wants, with Malik Neighbors. That's 4 wide receivers. Maybe there's a wide receiver in the second round in 2025 you hit on. Maybe even a third round guy. I mean, third round this year, obviously, it was a completely different draft. But, I mean, third rounds, we were getting, Javon Bakers, the Malachi Corleys. You were getting sometimes Jermaine Burton's in the third rounds. Like, do you get one of those guys in 25 in the third round? I'm going Malik Neighbors every day.
All right, so I think that's interesting how that's just turned around for me, because honestly, like here's where it changed for me is like, okay, so I could maybe get Worthy, maybe Lloyd, maybe Pearsall. That if all those players reach their ceiling outcome, I would rather have those players. But we know the hit rate in Dynasty rookie drafts is nowhere close to that. It's likely maybe one of these players hits for you. So if you know you can lock up one of these guys, the trade value, I think, is just worth actually doing. So I actually think we do prefer that route. But to be honest, with this team, I think I'm an open bank for the entire year once the season starts. Like, just being honest, like, players we can try to move, Devontae Adams, I would move in season.
Yeah, I know he wants to keep a Raider, but
Joe
you
Mixon,
you gotta cut ties, man.
Rachaad White, like, those are the only 3 names we move. We would like to build around Jamar Chase. We'd like to build around Puka Nacua. We'd like to build around Malik Neighbors. Maybe we can tear down from one of those names when we're ready to compete. Doesn't make sense for us to do that now. Just keep those assets that are reliable. And yeah, so that's what I would say. In season, how high can you sell these players? You know, like
Yeah.
how much more capital can we have for future drafts? And the only other thing I would say is, last thing, all right, if you keep second round picks this year, target Jaden Daniels and Caleb Williams, because you definitely need a superstar quarterback on this team. Like, Trevor is just not. I just don't personally think in one quarterback leagues Trevor Lawrence is going to be on many championship winning rosters in the next 3 years.
And I think like I would even package that the 208 and the 209 to move up to get it done if you kind of see those quarterbacks going off the board, right? Like if you see,
Or
it just
you could
depends.
just, like, if you don't think those guys will be there, get JJ and bet on that upside and that offense as well. But yeah, no, just giving both options. Go ahead.
Yeah, I would just say trying to move up the board, because early in the offseason, I was okay taking the likes of Caleb Williams really early in the second rounds. And on JJ, it was like the 201, 202, 203. I was happy to take him. And if that does happen in your rookie drafts, then package the 208, 209. Can you get up to the early second to solidify that quarterback?
Yeah. All right. So I don't want you to take, this review and be like, damn, these guys hate me. We don't, I really hope people see the value in honesty. And just being 100% transparent. I genuinely cannot see a world in which you win this year. Now, if this is a start 8, this is actually a different conversation. Like, genuinely. If it's a start 8, we can have a different conversation, because in that world, you're starting Trevor, Mixon, White, you're starting Chase, Puka, you're starting Adams, and then you only need to figure out a tight end. And if you end up trading up for Malik Neighbors, that extends your depth. So we only really need to figure out a tight end in that situation to try and just like compete this year for fun. But in a start 11, there's no shot, because the reality is one of these guys are going to get injured. Every single year, people on your team get injured. It's just the nature of the game. So, anyway, those are all the ideas that I have. I hope you're not discouraged. I hope it was like helpful. I don't like doing that, but I think honesty is important more than anything.
I think it should. Yeah, exactly. Honesty is important, and we're not going to tell you, like, if we would have told you this is a good team, man, great job, we're lying to you, because yourself.
Or you would just continue thinking you're on the right track, and like, oh, let me sell my picks and let me, So anyway, I think I do prefer the Malik Neighbors, Marvin Harrison route if you can get it done though.
Yeah.
All right. So I'm going to send this to you over on the Flock Fantasy website, and that way you have access to it. And bookmark this stream. The stream will never be taken down. You'll always have access to it. Now, if anybody out there is watching and you want your team reviewed, it's super simple, guys. Check out the pinned comment. If you just want a team review, that's the link to just get a team review. The other option is by becoming a yearly Mother Flocker member with the promo code LAND. I just put that link in the chat. You get access to all the premium tools on the website, rankings, articles, draft guides, databases, cheat sheets, trade calculator, my team's feature. So if you want to support the show, get a live team review. That is how you can get it done. But let me go ahead and make sure I send this over to you. And I think we have Shore here back. Do you want to read that comment?
Yeah, Shore says, went back and reviewed. I like the idea of Allen for Tua Waddle fan. Said the owner is a Bills fan too, so might work out. Yeah, that's great.
You could probably get more then.
Yeah,
I think you could sneak out more in that deal then, if he's a Bills fan. But
send feelers out. Send feelers out and see what he can potentially squeeze out over there.
Start slightly higher, than the original offer we suggested then. All right, that is gonna be it for today, guys. Yeah, definitely get creative, Shore, and we'll be on the streams throughout the week. But That's going to
We
be it for
appreciate
today,
you, man.
guys. We appreciate all of you. We still have one team waiting to get reviewed. We'll get to that this week. But thanks for the love. Thanks for the support. And we'll see you guys soon.
Love.